Welcome back to the LeaderFIT vlog series. We have been talking about getting leader fit for the work of leading inclusion, access, and equity. Now, you already know this is a build on from our previous vlog series, Closing Gaps by Opening Spaces, vlog series that you can continue to go see on our Coastal GRS website, or if you have the Lead Embrace app, it's available there. And remember, we talked about intentional and impactful leadership, really this growth mindset, as you remember, and how we lead this work, shifting from a singular approach to a more holistic approach and framework. And so wanted to make sure that you kept that in perspective because remember, as we have been in this new series, vlog series, we've been getting, check it out, Leader Fit, right? So if you're ready to get Leader Fit, and you know what that means, focus, intentional, and track, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, and you're pumped up, just like me and this guy right here, let's jump right into our conversation. We're on the air. Well, if you've been tuning in, and I just want to remind you, this is our Leader Fit vlog series. I trust that you've been getting fit and you've been seeing the collective impact of your work and those leader moves that you have implemented. My goal, again, as your personal Leader Fit trainer, remains the same in this episode as it has been in previous episodes, and that's to challenge you, encourage you, and equip you with specific leader moves. And what we do in this vlog series is we give you just 5 leader moves to think about so that you can do 3 things, right? Focused, intentional, and tracking your work. And this really helps you prioritize the work and track it on your calendar so you can work on the work and even measure your impact on teacher growth and reflect on how that impacts student learning, particularly for those students with disabilities, right? So here we go. We always start in this vlog series with our Leader Fit warm up, and we simply just recap and review our Lead Embrace framework, those drivers that support and those designs that sustain. We call them our Mighty 8. Here are the core 4 drivers. They're here on your screen, our targeted times for thorough talks. Today, we're going to explore one of these, and that's the TTE supplies, professional development and coaching OT. Remember those. And remember our core 4 designs that sustain instructional excellence for students with disabilities. All right, that building capacity for heads. We talked about that in just our previous vlog episode. And then action plan, GPS, logical logistics, and the culture of care. Well, I hope that quick warm up and review helped frame, and for those of you that are rejoining us, help reframe your leadership perspective, as well as helped prioritize our work because it's time to get leader fit so we can work on the work. And in this episode, as I just mentioned to you, we get fit with the driver that supports this work called TTE supplies, those templates, tools, and exemplars. And remember, this driver that supports co-teaching excellence is about collecting, creating, and then circulating those resources that aid teachers in being that much more efficient and effective in instructional planning and delivery. At its core, this is about positioning and equipping teachers to be successful. So how do you get fit and stay fit so you can make an impact on instructional excellence for students with disabilities? Well, let's check out these leader moves that can impact the efficiency and, again, the effectiveness of teacher instructional practices and subsequently student learning outcomes. And of course, these leader moves are aligned with our Leader Fit guide, focused, intentional, and trackable. Okay, because when we redeliver and how we roll it out and how we measure our impact, that's truly important. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. Leader move number 1: create an exemplar co-teaching lesson plan with essential co-teaching components highlighted, or utilize an existing co-teaching team's lesson plan as an exemplar. Circulate this lesson plan throughout your co-teaching teams. Facilitate a professional development session around instructional planning to roll this out. Or have your exemplar co-teaching team present this lesson plan to their peers. So there's so many ways to communicate your expectations using an exemplar planning document. Just be intentional in sharing this tool and essentially communicating your expectations around instructional co-planning. Here's the piece that I don't want you to miss. This serves as a key tool when providing instructional planning feedback and asking questions around co-planning because you have that document. Right? All right, here we go. Leader move number 2. Develop or find a co-planning discussion protocol tool. I can't tell you how valuable this can be for teachers who don't know where to start, um, or how to navigate once they start a conversation in their planning, right? And even sometimes how to finish a discussion during a planning session. Right? So a co-planning discussion protocol tool really helps teachers focus on the curriculum, the instruction, the assessment, and the various needs of their students in the classrooms. Right? And a tool like this helps teachers be both effective and efficient while staying focused on the essentials of instructional planning. A tool like this creates the expectations about what you should see and hear in a co-planning conversation. The great thing is that there's so many tools already available like this. And as I often share, some of these resources can be found on our website. So I would uh, invite you to go to the Coastal GLRS website so that you can access some of those tools as well. Leader move number 3. Determine, develop, and then deploy a model co-teaching team. It's a template for what co-teaching should look like, right? Maybe you already have one of these or several of these all-star co-teaching teams in your building. That's great. If you have, focus and be intentional in developing them to serve as that template for effective co-teaching practices. First, ask them if they'd be willing to serve in that capacity, and then communicate your expectations about what serving as a model co-teaching team requires. Right? Think about the many uses of your model co-teaching team, but focus on the exemplar practices where they have demonstrated the greatest strengths and effectiveness. This provides clear and observable expectations for co-teaching excellence in your building. What a great leader move. Here we go. Leader move number 4. This is going to challenge and push some of you because it certainly does for me as a leader. Sometimes you may have to model effective co-teaching practices. And as an instructional leader, you may decide or may need to model for co-teaching teams and or individuals a co-planning discussion, a co-taught lesson, or even the data team process of how they look at their student with disability data, or even just data, student data. This may be a targeted leader move utilized for specific teams or individuals based on the level of support that they may need, but it's no less an important leader move to consider. And then leader move number 5, create a TTE supply kit. Listen, utilize the experts in the building to collect, organize, and or develop a repository of resources for teachers. These specialists, some might call them experts, are those folks in your building, or maybe even your district, maybe even your agencies like your RISA or your GRS that can help put this together for you as you share these resources with teachers in your building. At minimum, think about how helpful these tools, templates, and exemplars can be for your newer teachers and your newly assigned co-teaching teams, right? Now, here's the key to all of these leader moves, and it's the final step to get fit. Put it on your calendar and track your work, all right? Something we share at the end of each of our vlog episodes. Listen, leaders, being leader fit, as I often share with you, is not just about hard work, because it certainly is hard work, but it's also hands-on work. And so we've got to put our hands in there. We've got to do those things that will challenge us and push us and sometimes make us uncomfortable. But when you are fit and you're focused and you're intentional and you're tracking your work, you can make a positive and a healthy impact on the outcomes for your students with disabilities. Listen, wanted to share with you just a few of those leader moves around those TTE supplies, that driver. But I look forward to you joining me for our next vlog workout. As always, check out our Lead Embrace app where you have access to um, all of our vlog episodes. You have access to our previous vlog series, Closing Gaps, and a few other vlog series as well from some of our colleagues. And you even have access to your personal LeaderFIT tracker with access to even more leader moves. So just go to our Coastal GLRS website, email us to request your access. Our goal is to support you, and that's to put those practical tools in your hands so that you can prioritize the work and work on the work. So go get LeaderFIT.